Hey guys, okay, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to talk about the HSG test. So we're in the process of trying to conceive, and my doctor wanted to rule out any potential issues and things like that. So we did a lot of other testing first, and she said your levels are good. There's some other things that she wanted us to look at or fix beforehand. We're gonna do a series of TTC trying to conceive videos, so I'll link those down below. But things like my vitamin D levels were low and some other little things like that. But anyway, so she wanted to do the HSG test. No one told me anything about the test, oh, it might be painful or anything like that. So I have an issue where I Google everything, and I don't know why I do that. I talk about that a lot in my piercing videos that I do. I Google everything. Why? I need to just stay off Google. I think it's better if you're not sure what to look up, you're not sure what to expect, so maybe it's not as bad. But if you're watching this, you Googled it too, so we suffer from the same Google disease. So here we are. So hopefully this helps you just a little bit as far as what to know, what to expect. The video will be a little bit TMI, so if you're not interested in what the HSG test is or what to expect, then don't watch this, because I don't want you to feel uncomfortable with the TMI information that I'm gonna give you. So anyway, so I got scheduled to do the HSG test, and it ain't cheap, girl. I got insurance and it is not cheap. I was scheduled to do the test, and now the thing is we want to inseminate as soon as possible, so whatever appointment they have, we take it. But I had to move a bunch of things around to go to the appointment that they had, which was yesterday at 10:30 in the morning, right? Or no, I scheduled at 10:30, then they called me and said that they had an earlier appointment at 9:15 in the morning, and I was sure, perfect, because I had to work that day at 1:30. So I said, okay, I'll go in at 9:30 or whatever. So then I'm up early getting ready, and they call me, and then they're oh, we're gonna have to push it back due to whatever. Can you come in at 12:30? And I'm well, how long is the procedure? Because I have to be at work at 1:30. And she's it's really only 30 minutes long, the whole thing. And I was all right, whatever. I mean, if that's all you got, I'd hate to say, no, I can't make it. And they say, okay, well, the next appointment isn't until 2 weeks, but then that's when you have your period. So you gotta wait till next month, so everything is so time sensitive. So I was all right, whatever. So I went in at 12, and you can eat and stuff beforehand. It's nothing like that, but it is considered like a procedure, like a outpatient procedure type deal. So I was super nervous because I Googled a lot of stuff, and everyone was telling me it's super painful and it hurts. I watched one video of a girl who said that it wasn't really that bad for her, but everything else I read, and even the comments in that video of the girl saying that it didn't hurt that bad, all the comments, people were mine hurt so bad and blah blah blah, and I was fuck, here we go. And I was super anxious and super nervous the whole time. And when I got there, I had to fill out some paperwork, and then I got called into the room, and she told me to take everything off from the bottom down and just sit on the table and put my little paper napkin over my lap or whatever, and then you have a bin for me to put all my stuff in. And then I waited for a while. She came in and was okay, we're doing someone else's HSG test, and then we'll be right with you. So I sat there for probably 15 minutes on my phone, just kind of chilling. So I'm waiting to get the HSG done. I'm kind of freaking out because I Googled it and I said it's painful. I just shouldn't stay off Google altogether because it just fucks with my head. But God, I hope this is all bad. I just keep telling myself, if you gotta push a baby out, this should be nothing, right? That's the only thing keeping me sane right now. But the suspense is killing me. And I was super nervous. So this is what the machine looked like, and these are some of the tools that they had. I tried to snap some pictures while I was waiting, and it's just a little bit intimidating, the whole thing. And I was nervous, so I kept telling myself if you're trying to get a baby up in here, you're gonna have to push that baby out. So if this is painful, I guarantee you it's less painful than pushing the baby out. So it's like your rite of passage on the way. So I just kept telling myself that, like, look, there's no way around it. It's your rite of passage. You got to do it. And this is preparing you for pushing a baby out, which is going to be 10 times more painful. So you got this. The doctor came in. She was super nice. She, which when I come often, like to give blood and check different levels, I sometimes just see the nurse. So it's nice to see the doctor, and she like filled me in on some things that I needed to do. Like she wanted me to take a fertility drug because I don't ovulate a lot of eggs and stuff like that. And I'm young. I'm only like 20. I always say I'm only like I'm like rounding. I'm 26. So she said I have a lot of eggs, but I don't drop a lot of eggs while ovulating. So she wants me to take a drug to help with that. So we're talking about that and stuff like that. So then though, like the funny thing, like you guys know, like when you get like a regular checkup, when you go to the OB and they have like the stirrups for your legs. So let's say like this is my body and your legs are kind of like in the stirrups, right? Before they got there, I was sitting and I was looking at like the way the chair was set up. The stirrups were like if I'm sitting on the chair, the stirrups were like up here, like by my head, instead of like out there, like where you usually like put your legs out, you know? So I'm like, what the hell? And then they didn't move. So I'm like, what the heck is this? So she comes in or whatever and she goes, okay, put your legs up here. So like I'm like laying back and your legs are like straight up in the air, like not even like feet out. I'm talking about like your knee was like up, like it was high. I looked at her and I was like, put the leg up here? And then she was like, yeah, you got to be pretty flexible for this test. And I'm like, alrighty. So I'm like swinging my legs up or whatever. I've learned to like not be uncomfortable in those situations anymore. I like how I was like when I was a lot younger going to the OB, I was like super uncomfortable, and now I'm just like swinging my leg around and stuff like that. So anyway, so I lay back and they put like, you know when you get an x-ray like at the dentist and you have to wear like that like magnetic like heavy vest, and she had that all over her, and then the doctor and the nurse had it on her. I lay back and then they put like this they move like a x-ray machine over my stomach like while I'm laying down. And then she goes, okay, I'm gonna put the catheter in first. You're gonna feel a little bit of pressure. She puts it in. It was a little uncomfortable, but you know, bearable. But then she goes, okay, you're gonna feel a little bit of a cramp. Here comes the balloon. I don't know what the hell that means. And then I feel it and I like jumped. It hurt so bad. Like it hurt. Like I can't even describe it. Like it hurt bad. Not as bad as I thought it was going to because of all the comments I read, but it hurt. So she goes, here's the balloon, and I guess she pressed something and I like jumps like so high, and then she goes, yep, there it is, that's the cramp. She goes, all right, now just sit still, I'm gonna push the dye in and you're gonna feel you're gonna feel some pressure. So that initial like shock of pain like stayed for the whole time, and then while she was like pushing in the ink, you felt like extra pressure. And then I just kind of like sat there like, you know, and the things I read, it described it like cramps times 10, which the initial like pain was more than that. But after that, I would agree. It's like cramps times 10 for the remainder of the procedure. But honestly, it was really quick. I think the whole procedure was like 15 minutes of pain. So it was really fast. So I just kind of sat there like with my eyes closed, like, And then she's like, okay, look at the screen. Do you see your little, you know, this is your, you know, whatever. You see how everything turned with the ink and everything is good, blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, all right, lady, get this thing out of me. Just tell me it's good and get it out. And then she's like, all right, now I'm gonna take it out. And she took everything out. And I like still felt cramp, you know? And then she spoke to me and she left. And then the nurse said, okay, here's a wipey, here's a pad. If you need it, just get dressed and meet me in the front. So I stood up, and like a lot of comments that I read is that like when you stand up, like ink comes flying at you. And I didn't really have that. I like cleaned myself up, and I had brought like my own wipes or whatever for down there. And so I had cleaned myself up, I had put the pad, and then I got dressed. And I just had like cramps, like really bad cramps, like the entire day. Like I had to go to work right after, and then I worked until 10 o'clock, and then even when I got home at like 11, like I still had cramps. So this is the next morning. It was yesterday morning that I had the procedure, and I feel fine right now. I don't have any cramps or anything. I don't have anything else. Like I was bleeding after. I don't have anything right now. So let's say like the procedure started at like 12:30. I got to work at 1:30, so the whole procedure was like really fast. And then when I got to work, probably like, so let's say like 20 to 30 minutes after the procedure, I felt like stuff coming out. So I went to the bathroom just to check, and I was like bleeding, which I thought was kind of weird, but they said that was okay. I was bleeding a little bit, and it like smelled weird, which is weird. It like smelled weird, and it was like kind of like gooey blood. And so I guess it was a little bit of the dye with the blood, and maybe the dye is what made it smell weird. I don't know, but it was like a weird smell. And I kept checking myself, and after that initial like bleeding, for, like right after, like, so like after 20-30 minutes after is when I started bleeding, and it probably only lasted for like an hour. And it was a lot in the beginning, and then it kind of trickled off, and then after that it was just a little bit of spotting. And then I wore a pad last night, and this morning there was nothing. And I'm fine now, and I don't have any more cramps, or I'm not bleeding or anything like that, so thank God it's over. But what she did say is that it helps the process of getting pregnant. Not only does it check to make sure that, you know, all the tubes are working and there's no blockage or anything like that, but because pushing the dye through, it just clears everything out. So when you're ready to inseminate, or when you're ready to get pregnant, all the tubes are clear. So she said it kind of helps with the chances of getting pregnant. And I also read that a lot, is that people were saying that I really think this helped me to get pregnant. It cleared everything out, and it helped. So fingers crossed. We're gonna inseminate next month, that this helped or whatever. And they are putting me on like Clomid, or this other drug that starts with an F, I forgot what it's called, which could potentially increase the chance of multiples, which I am secretly okay with. So fingers crossed that it works and we get it on our first time. And if we can pop 2 out for the price of 1, high five. Don't be nervous. I mean, if you're trying to have a baby, it's gonna be more painful to push the baby out. So just keep telling yourself that. That's what I said. And that's how I kind of got through it. It's like it's our rite of passage to do this anyway. So just don't stress it, you know? I think I psyched myself out more. I was like super nervous for it, and it wasn't as bad as I thought it was gonna be. Painful, but not as bad. But don't worry, you got this. There's going to be a lot more painful things to come for us in the future, for us future mommies wanting to bees. So yeah, just it's part of our initiation into the mommy club. So yeah, I got that under my belt, and now let's see what's next they're gonna throw at me. Actually, I wanted to make a video about, because I had looked it up and I only saw like a few videos on it, and I wanted to share my experience, because like I said, I was super nervous, and it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. So don't be nervous. You got this. I also, this is something important, I also took 1,000 milligrams of ibuprofen before I went in, which still hurt, but definitely probably helped with the initial pain. So they did say that was okay. And I had some like 1,000 milligrams of ibuprofen from when I had, like, you know, I had got it prescribed for something else. But yeah. That's it. So thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe to my channel. It really means a lot to me, and we have a lot of other cool videos coming, and hopefully next month we'll have some videos about how we actually got pregnant. Fingers crossed. Like this video as a good luck to us to get pregnant. I would really appreciate it. Comment down below if you have an HSG coming up, or if you ever had one. And yeah, talk to you guys soon. Bye.